Well, we're back from Bleach Soul Resonance, and we have what seems like early, leaked confirmation, but pretty reliable, it seems like. I could have made this video immediately. I was literally up when this information came out, but I wanted to wait because I wanted to see if there was anything more, just to make sure I wasn't just, hopping in there, foolhardy and just going with the first bit. But it doesn't seem like there is, but, from all other, vantage points, it feels like this is right. So let's just talk about it. And it's this post from Giku, which says, couple reveals made by official sources in the SEA server. Uryu is finesse tactic. Not mentioned by name, but they mentioned a finesse support, most likely Candace. You can't see the second one, but it says, I'm pretty sure they weren't supposed to mention these things, but it's already spread. And obviously, as you can see from like the various little emojis here, there's some like outrage and like heartbreak and stuff. And it's because people wanted to believe that Uryu was going to be thrust. And hey, maybe he still could be. He still could be. These are sources, nothing against Giku. I'm just saying, like, people can say anything. People can say anything and it become the narrative for a week or two, and then the devs decide to change their mind. That's the nature of sources versus reveals, right? So, again, this is nothing against Giku or his sources. This is literally just who knows what could change in 2 weeks. But what I want to talk about is how obvious this was, because I feel like what happened to people is the entertainment value of Uryu being thrust and thus the devs stranding Bambietta has been more entertaining for people than the reality, which is that Uryu and Candace or some other support were always going to be, the right choice in finishing this team. Like, it was just they should finish the team. It's sort of gotten to the point where we're seeing people be like, oh, this is a mistake. This is a fumble if Uryu ends up finesse. And it's like, no, the fumble, if anything, was releasing we'll go through a few points, but the fumble of anything was releasing the team to begin with. It's either you simply don't like the typing or you do. It's not, okay, I actually like the typing, but this is the wrong way to handle it. No. No. This was the right way to do this. And it leads into the secondary point of people saying that, well, they said they wouldn't do any more back-to-back characters. Well, I hate to say it, but it's like a thing where we got to use our brains a little bit, right? We have to use our brains a little bit. If they want to release a new typing, then it does sort of just take priority. I mean, there's a collaboration. The most optimal way to handle doing something like this during a collaboration is to push out every feasible character you need for that team, thus incentivizing people to re-roll, thus incentivizing people to start, thus incentivizing people to, rush to get these characters, because it's a mobile game. It's a gacha game. It's a gacha game. You know what I mean? Like, I've also been seeing people say that, like, let me see if my capture's on. I've also been seeing people say that, like, this is some, like, mysterious bad end for free-to-play players. And I just don't buy that. Like, what changes? Because the way this game works is you might miss out on, I don't know, you might miss out on some optimal rewards from, like, not even optimal rewards. You might miss out on placements from, Frenzy Feast here. But, like, that doesn't really matter. You could literally just use, I mean, you can see it there. People are doing that. So this is Strike Team Kenpachi. And I use the Strike Team. Other people use Spirit Team. Spirit Team, Spirit Team, Spirit Team, Spirit Team, Spirit Team, Spirit Team. On and on and on. Spirit Team. So it's like, what? It was okay for you to be free to play and dump all of your dupes into True Shikai Ichigo, but it's not okay for them to like release characters that you made a decision to not pull, even though you could pull them every single patch, because we get enough currency to pull and get the weapon. That's not, nothing happened. I keep seeing people say that, you know, somehow this screws free-to-play players, and it's like, it just doesn't though. It just doesn't, because all of the content that gives us the most rewards, which are in this event tab, are limited trial character content, and you can get all of the only thing you can't really do most times in stuff like this is like rank super high, right? You can't, you know, usually you can't like, you know, blast apart the rankings, but like if you want to literally just, you know, make like get the rewards done, I mean, you see like it's just oh, you know, use this, but like you could easily just do this same thing with the trial characters. It's thrust. Use the thrust trial characters, you know what I mean? Like go in here, untick like these or something, and then you've got all of the rewards. That's just how it works. Nothing happens. Like I haven't really understood. It's 80,000 points to get all the rewards from this. You can also use them here, which give 800. I just haven't really understood the logic trying to be passed around that this is somehow a problem for free-to-plays. I wish that, you know, sometimes when we watch shows that aren't particularly deep, we try to make up reasons that we like them. You know, when people watch like, and I hate to make the JJK fans mad every single time we talk about this, but, or Demon Slayer fans as well, every single time we talk about this, because, you know, people have an attachment to it, but I think JJK and Demon Slayer, for example, are fun fireworks. Nothing really happens in them, but they're fireworks. They're fun to watch things explode on screen. I've sometimes described watching JJK and Demon Slayer as an animation reel from like UFO Table or Mappa or whatever, right? It's like, I think UFO Table does Demon Slayer. It's like an animation reel. It's like nothing deep is happening. This isn't The Wire. This isn't The Sopranos, you know, as like a TV show. This is like fireworks. I'm there to be entertained by the spectacle. But you'll see people who like stuff like that shit on people who like, I don't know, like comic books or something, right? Like I don't really like, care for comic books, for example. I like them in video games, but I don't really care for like the movies a lot of times. And I'm like, but you're watching the same thing. Like, to be like, no, people die in JJK or Demon Slayer, and be like, well, it's like darker and deeper. It's like you're coming up with a reason to like explain why you essentially like Japanese comic books, right? And I never understood that rationale. Like, this isn't Vagabond, right? This isn't like a meditation on the self and isolation and all these different things. This isn't like a, you know, like this Nietzschean manga, which is like a seinen and gets into like the human experience. This is Demon Slayer, dog. This is JJK. Like, this is fireworks, you know? But people don't like that, you know? People come up with reasons why. And I think that sort of happens in everything. Like, instead of just being like, I want Uryu to be on a team with True Shikai Ichigo, and that's it, people are like, actually, it makes the most sense that we have an entire team that doesn't work, because if they don't do, they need to make Thrust the best team in the game after Thrust is already the best team in the game. Because, and it's like, what are you talking about? Just say you want Uryu and Ichigo to team up. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so weird that I feel like this is such a rant. I'm like totally on tangent mode, but it's so funny that this is like the video essayification of like talking to people, where instead of being like, I like that, it's like, what was Uryu being thrust? What is the Uryu thrust incident? It's like, what's happening, right? Like, they shouldn't be, because of the free-to-plays, even though all of the free-to-play currency and tickets tend to come from limited trial content. that you could just bring characters along for. And the only other thing that doesn't work for are tower modes that are permanent anyway and don't really affect the long-term like account Jade spread, because usually if you're saving or pulling on dupes, everyone's been using fucking B4 Aizen to clear everything for 8 months, dog. Like, we are on, no, it's 10 months. We're on like month 10 of people with B4 Aizen using it in Frenzy Feast, using it in Limited Tower, using it in, what has changed? What has really changed? So I again, you know, these are sources, and again, that's no shade to Giku or otherwise, but it is, I'm just saying that until we see like an official reveal, I do say that like something like this is like 90% it's going to be Finesse, 10% it's going to be Thrust, right? Who knows? Or something else. Because at dev time can change, things can change, but I have really been holding my tongue on how silly the rationale is behind Uryu needs to make Thrust the best team in the game. By the way, Thrust is the best team in the game. How is that better for free-to-play suddenly? We need to replace the best team in the game with the best team in the game. Ah! What are you talking about? What is anyone ever talking about? Oh, I'm in low though. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the club, go make it in. Peace.